I want to just take a quick minute and walk you through what we call our ministry path. And this would be something that we have as a guideline for brand new believers. It's something that we as a staff discuss a lot, and we talk about it in the new members class. And this came up as a question last week. So as we think about people that are new to the faith, people that are visiting and then just getting saved, we normally believe that they're going to find their first comprehension of church in a worship service. So the path for most people is going to begin in worship. Now, that's not to downplay the fact that prior to them coming to a worship service, someone's invited them, we've gone out soul winning, we'll talk about that as well. But the first step on the pathway of understanding for many, many people with respect to Lancaster Baptist Church is worship. And this is where we want to inspire people to know and to love God. Whether they're unsaved, we want to see them come to Christ. That's why I believe in altar calls and encouraging people to be saved. If they are already saved, we're praying that the music, the preaching, the whole experience gives to them a desire to want to be a part, to want to know more. And I think last night there were 3 single adult men back at the back door that talked with me after church. And one of the guys got baptized about a month ago. He had hair halfway down his back. And last night he had on a fresh haircut. He's in discipleship. That's awesome, because I remember when he first came as a visitor, he was this was all like, whoa, very, very new to him. So the Bible says in Psalm 34:3, "Oh, magnify the Lord with me and let us exalt his name together." So worship is the first step, and that's why we need to put a lot of time into our preparation of sermons, the quality of the music, the cleanliness of the buildings. I like to tell our facilities teams that they are as much a part of a worship team as anybody else. And we hear these terms sometimes, worship team. Well, man, I'll tell you what, if we didn't have great nurseries and great facilities, it distracts from everything else. So the first step on the path is worship. The second step is community. And fundamentally, when we think of community here, we think of what we call our connection groups. Historically, our Sunday school classes, they don't all meet on Sundays now. Some meet on Wednesday, most meet on Sunday. But here is where we are connecting people for Bible study and friendship. And Acts 2:42 says, "And they continued steadfastly in the apostles' doctrine, and in fellowship, and in breaking of bread, and in prayers." So we want people to come into these connection groups. And there are several things that I like people to find there. And I want them to find acceptance there. Acceptance is the optimum environment for change. And these words that I'm saying are words that you should be writing. So I'm telling you what I want people to find in a connection group. I want them to find acceptance. Acceptance is the optimum environment for change. Now, I'm not talking about accepting their sin. I'm talking about accepting them. Okay? So when they come into community, they're going to find acceptance. They're going to be people saying, "Hey, we're glad you're here," welcoming them in. It might be a class of 12, 20, 30. We want them to be accepted. We have a family in our church. They're a black family. They came up to me after they got saved and baptized and joined the church. They said, "The reason we got baptized, the reason we still come, is because your daughter, Christine, who at that time was in high school, was, I guess this was a few years back, was so courteous and friendly to their daughter to make her feel welcome." And what she was describing is what I'm describing, acceptance. It doesn't matter what their color or their background. We want everybody to feel loved when they walk into these groups. The other thing we like them to find there is availability. And by this, I mean a teacher that is available to visit them, to answer Bible questions that they have. Sometimes as a church grows, the pastor can't be that person for everyone. But if you have more and more teachers teaching these classes, they can be available. So in the community, they find acceptance, they find availability. The third thing they find is activities. They find activities. It might be a bowling activity or whatever, but this is where they're going to have that level of fellowship. And fourthly, they're going to find admonition or teaching. So the community provides those four things. And we view the Sunday school class as much more than a Sunday school class. It is primarily a place of teaching, but that's where we do a lot of baby showers, a lot of bereavement if somebody dies, if someone gets fired from work. This is the group that's going to come around them. So if someone's coming to Lancaster Baptist, their first several times might be worship. And we want that to be inspiring and encouraging. But we're going to be taking those guest cards, and we're going to be working very diligently as a staff to get people from the worship service into community. It's very important that they get plugged into a small group where they can find acceptance, availability, activities, and admonition. Those are the things I want the teachers to provide in that second step. The third step is commitment. Once someone is in this community and they are knowing the love of Christ, and somewhere along step 1 or 2, they're normally going to get saved. That's our goal. If they're going to keep coming, we're praying they're going to get saved. And so because of that, we're going to challenge them on their next phase of this journey to make some commitments. We want to teach them about some of the basics of the Christian life, 2 Timothy 2:2. We want to teach them so that they can teach others also. So what are the two main commitments that we're after with someone that's just maybe a month or two in community? Well, the first one is going to be continued discipleship. We want to get everybody to make the commitment to be discipled, okay? That's really important, and it's going to happen in the class. And that class leader is going to invite them to a Wednesday night discipleship opportunity where they can sit down and with one single adult with a single adult or a couple with a couple, they can go through this book, Continue. It takes them about 15 weeks, but what happens is they're getting to know another couple in the church. They're learning basic doctrine. They're learning what is a church, what is a Baptist. They're learning about how to have devotions. They're learning about why we give. They're learning about soul winning at a very personal level. And we want them to make the commitment to be discipled. The second big commitment that we ask is for the core class. And the core class happens once a quarter, and some people call it new members class. We call it core class. It's where we teach the core beliefs of the church. It's where we teach a little bit of the history of the church. It's where we talk about the ministry of the church, and we give them the doctrinal statement. We also give them the church constitution. And that's important. The Constitution tells them how we function. We don't read all of it with them, but the Constitution has several pages of doctrinal statement. Specifically, there's a page on what is a family. And in the core class, we let them know where we stand on some of the current events. We let them know that we believe that God ordained a family to be a man and a woman for life. And we talk about the fact that we are against the current trends that lead to gay marriage and things of this nature. Now, guys, this is very important. In the core class, we teach some of those things, and then we give this constitution. In the core class, we give them an agreement to sign that says, I have heard the beliefs, and I have read the Constitution of Lancaster Baptist Church, and I am in agreement. Now, some of the people in the core class may have already been baptized. Some of them are yet to become members. You guys follow what I'm saying? So you got some in there, they're new members, some are prospective members, but this is that moment. If they're a prospective member, we're going to talk to them about being baptized if they haven't been baptized, joining if they need to join. If they're already a member in that sense. Let me back up. If they've been baptized, they're a part of our church, but they're not formally a member until they attend the core class and sign this document, okay? It's important. One of the things you deal with in the ministry in today's era is litigation. That's why we video every kid that gets off a bus and goes into a class, so nobody can say they never even went to the class. That's why we have parents sign permission slips for youth camp. That's why we have people sign that they agree with the doctrinal and with the Constitution. Because we don't want someone saying, no one told me if you're gay, you can't sing in the choir. We cover all of that in the core class, and then we ask them to sign. So someone that's not yet a member, they're going to hear it before they join or get baptized. Someone that has already been baptized, they're not a legal member at Lancaster Baptist until they sign the Constitution. So we want everyone to make the commitment to get discipled, which is grounding in the Word of God, and attend the core class where we can explain the doctrine, the philosophy, the history of Lancaster Baptist Church. And that's the third major phase of their ministry development and growth. Now, that commitment right there, that portion could be a 6-month period, because they might visit the church for a little while, get into a connection group, make some friends, hear about a core class, go to a core class, get into discipleship. That could take some time, okay? Worship, that phase could be 3, 4, 5 weeks. Community, that will be a lifetime, but their initial phase might be 2 or 3 months. But during that 2 or 3 months, we want to get them to make the commitment to do 2 things. What are the 2 things? Discipleship and core class. Discipleship and core class, okay? From that point, once someone has been attending, and now they've been in a class, and now they've become a member and attended core class, and they've been discipled, the fourth step on their ministry path is service. And I have found that this usually is about a year in. Now, when we started the church, we didn't have the luxury of a year in. It was like, oh, a warm body, get up in the choir, be an usher, you know. But church planting is a little bit different model. Sometimes you're a little more, a little more quick. You still need to consider the moral integrity of a nursery worker in a 1-month-old church. I mean, you can't just throw people into kids' ministry that haven't been vetted, okay? But when someone has been attending and growing and they've been discipled and you've kind of got relationships with them, now it's time to serve, to get them involved in the ministry and to understand that they have spiritual gifts that they can use in some form of the serving of the Lord. And we have a couple times a year where we have the ministry involvement night, and we give them that opportunity to hear about the ministries. Sometimes we don't wait for a ministry involvement night. There might be someone that, let's say they joined the church, they were a Baptist before they came. We don't get as much of that in California. We get some of that. But if that was the case, maybe 9, 10 months into it, they might say, you know, I really enjoy the choir. You know, we might find that out. We'll let them get involved maybe a little bit earlier in certain cases. The fifth part of their journey, and really this is not completely accurate in the timing sense, but because it can be a part of their journey and should be from day one of getting saved. But we always want to make sure that if they haven't got involved in soul winning, that we get them involved in outreach. And that's something that we do through this particular moment we're in right now. We have signed up this week. We have about 570 adults signed up for soul winning. That doesn't include any college students. So they'll meet tonight, they'll meet Saturday, they'll get a partner, and they'll go out soul winning every week between now and Christmas. They'll make that commitment. They'll get some training. And you've heard me saying it in church on Sunday. If you haven't learned how to lead someone to Christ, don't forget to sign up. If you haven't signed up to be a part of the soul winning program, the kickoff is Thursday, the kickoff is Saturday. And that's really important for me. Now, there's a lot of people that as the churches get older that maybe don't go soul winning as much. They'll tithe, they'll carry some gospel tracts. You will learn in the ministry to get folks as involved by the grace of God as you can get them involved. But some people might get older and they're doing a little bit less. But you want everybody to have a soul-winning mentality. And so this path, it's something that we post in the lobby, we teach the new members, and we talk about with our staff. And we're always trying to bring people along the next leg of their journey. So this is just what we call the ministry path. And this is what we kind of explain to people as a part of where we're heading with respect to their growth. And of course, as you grow in the Lord, you really are doing all 5 all the time once you're grounded. You're always worshiping. You're always enjoying community. You're always helping others to make commitments, to get involved, to get discipled. You're always serving the Lord and hopefully witnessing as well. So that's the ministry path. We touched base with respect to that path last week, and I wanted to clarify and give you a little more on that.